Oh, welcome again here in Donegal. We have here a man before me that I have enormous respect for, Willie John McLaughlin. Willie is about 3 years old now, 73 years old, still does 100-mile time trial races, can climb any mountain here in Donegal. He only started very late in life to start racing. Willie, what you think of today, and can you explain a bit more about what you are and what you do?
Well, I'll be doing this today anyhow, and I'll be doing the 100-mile time trial in Wood Green later on in the year, and I'll be doing whatever races, most of them that's about anyhow, isn't that right? And I enjoy the cycling, and I started in '06, and there were a lot of hills that time I had to walk, so... But in the space of a year, I started to master them, and it took me a good while before I managed my more gap, but I eventually got it. And I done it 6 times in the one evening, so it's not too bad just going up to the top and going back down again and going back up again, and enjoy the cycling. And I think it's a sport that anybody can start, and it's even late in life, because for the simple reason is it's easy on the joints. And the only advice I would give to anybody that's doing it is forget about running and forget about triathlons and stick with the cycling is the big one, as far as I would think anyhow, because once you start running, you're destroying your legs for cycling. And there was a cyclist, he told me that at the start, do not do no running. But I did do bits of running. I done a few marathons in my time, but I always seemed to have the problem of cramping after running. And I would be cramping, but since I stopped the running, I have no bother with cramps in the legs or anything like that, and I intend to do it for another few years anyhow and see how things go. Yeah, I have to take it now a year at a time, but I think if I manage this year anyhow, and hopefully another one after that and another one maybe, but...
Is it true, Willie, that one of your 100-mile time trials that you had milk in your bottles and sandwiches in your back pockets, no gels or anything like that, also normal trainers, no click-ons or nothing like that?
Oh no, I had the click-on shoes all right, I had the clip-on shoes now, and no, I think I took a few gels on the 100-mile time trial all right, but I had a bottle of milk. One bottle of milk was the fluids that I drank for the whole 100-mile time trial, and I seemed to be able to keep on going, even then it's shown 100. I can do that with one bottle of fluids, really. And I've been reading it up, and even from my experience in construction work, they always said, don't start drinking, because once you start drinking, you can't stop. You have to keep on drinking. And that's the way that I do it. I don't do a lot of drinking. I never seem to have any problem. I left one day last week, and I done 80 mile. One Sunday morning I done 80 mile, and I even forgot to take the bottle with me. And it was a very warm day, and I got back, and now I had to drink a few cups of tea after I got back, but other than that, I had no problem.
Right, Willie. Can you tell us very quickly here before we close down, but can you tell us about your beloved Donegal and here the area, because should people come and visit this place?
Oh, definitely should. We have a great, opening here for visitors and scenery, and, if anybody wants to go way down round Moville, Kinnigo Bay, Malin Head, that is the nicest of the nice. And then you go even away across to the west of the county, sure, you couldn't beat it, isn't that right, and the wee bit of a disadvantage to us in Buncrana here is the ferry being taken off. We could cross over to, and vice versa, then to Rathmullen, and vice versa, and it was a great quick way of getting over to do the west, so we've lost out on that. I don't think they're going to take it back anyhow, but it should be back, isn't that right,
Really here, everybody call him one of the kings of Donegal. So was Ronan McLaughlin and Philip Degnan. So there's only 3 kings in Donegal, and Willie is definitely one of them. Thank you very much for talking to me, Willie. You are such great stuff for the sport, but also for the youth to see that anybody can cycle if they really want to.
That is right. That is exactly right. And it's easy on the joints. You don't have no problem. And don't do triathlons and duathlons, because if you're going to cycle, the two doesn't work together. You know, anybody doing duathlons can't cycle. It's just as simple as that. You know.
Well, that's very harsh words from Willie, but maybe very wise words for the ones who want to keep going in cycling. Thank you very much, Willie, and good luck in the race today.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much, Danny, and thanks for the interview. I'll talk to you later. Good man.
Yeah.